Hello, my name is Travis Cheshire. Today I will be answering the question of whether to lease or buy a car. With all the advertisements for snazzy new cars and low monthly payments, it is becoming increasingly difficult to resist the siren call beckoning us to our local dealerships. Since many Americans grew up with their parents telling them to only buy when you could pay for it and a car is an asset, it's hard to understand why leasing has caught on. The answer is twofold. For many drivers, leasing allows them to drive a newer, nicer car than they may otherwise be able to afford. Plus, in some cases, it just makes good economic sense. Now, with that being said, you have gone through and done all the hard work and fun research one should do when interested in getting a new car. You've picked out the color, make, and model, and have negotiated the best price. But next comes the one question you may not be ready for. Will you be leasing or purchasing this vehicle? At this point, one side of you is undoubtedly attracted to the lower monthly payment of the lease, but the other side of you remembers always hearing that buying is a more responsible decision. Okay. So as a potential car buyer, there are essentially three ways of acquiring a new car. You can purchase the vehicle with cash, you can purchase the vehicle by taking out a loan, otherwise known as financing, or you can lease. Let's start by briefly explaining the lease option. Leasing a vehicle is not renting, rather it finances the use of the vehicle over a specified time period. Lease payments are composed of two parts, a depreciation charge and a finance charge. When you lease a vehicle, you only pay a portion of the vehicle's cost, which is essentially the part you use up during the time you are driving it. The depreciation part of the lease payment compensates the leasing company for the use of the vehicle over the loan term. The financing portion of the lease payment covers the interest on the money the lending agency has tied up in the vehicle during the lease term. Basically, you're borrowing the money the leasing company used to buy the car from the dealer. Now let's discuss the loan option. When you finance the purchase, you pay for the entire cost of the vehicle by paying down the loan balance and sales tax over the loan term. Loan payments are also composed of two parts, the principal charge and the finance charge. The principal charge is the negotiated purchase price you purchased the vehicle for along with the sales tax and is paid down monthly as part of the loan payment. The financing portion of the loan payment is the interest on the unpaid balance and is paid down monthly over the loan term as well. And finally, the cash option, which is self-explanatory. You pay cash for the purchase price along with any sales tax. Okay, so generally speaking, we have defined what a lease, a loan, and a cash payment are. So now let's compare them from a financial perspective. The vehicle chosen for the following financial analysis is the 2012 Honda CR-V EX. Let's compare the monthly expense of the lease versus buy with loan option. This graph depicts the point at which the sum of the monthly payments for the 60-month finance purchase option and the monthly payments for two successive 36-month leases intersect one another. This intersection point, which happens to be roughly 67 months, signifies the point at which the loan option becomes more advantageous than that of the lease. This comparison can also be made for the 36-month and 48-month finance purchase. The break-even points for those occur at 63 months and 65 months respectively. Now let's compare the monthly out-of-pocket expense between the lease versus buy with cash option. This graph depicts where the sum of the monthly lease payments and the purchase with cash intersect one another. This occurs at 57 months and signifies the point at which the cash option becomes more advantageous. Now that we have compared each option based purely on monthly payment expenses, let's look at the monthly cash flow diagrams for each option. The first cash flow diagram depicts the buy with cash option. The initial purchase is shown in red at time 0, and after 36 months, I will assume the vehicle is sold for its predicted market value, which is shown in green. This cash flow diagram can be adjusted for any time period, the only difference being that the market value will change relative to the time at which the vehicle is sold. The longer the vehicle is owned, the lower the market value will be. This cash flow diagram represents the purchase of the vehicle with a 36-month loan. Monthly loan payments are shown in red, and the vehicle sale is shown in green at time 36. This cash flow diagram represents the purchase of the vehicle with the 48-month loan. Monthly payments again are shown in red, and the sale of the vehicle is shown after 48 months in green. This cash flow diagram represents the purchase of the vehicle with the 60-month loan. Again, monthly payments shown in red, and after 60 months I show the vehicle sale for its predicted market value. This cash flow diagram represents leasing the vehicle over 36 months. The first month payment includes the typical monthly payment along with a refundable security deposit. Successive monthly payments are also shown in red, and after 36 months, the $475 security deposit is refunded back to us after 36 months. This cash flow diagram represents leasing the vehicle over 48 months. Again, this is similar to that of the previous. We have a larger upfront initial first month payment, along with typical successive monthly payments, and the refunded security deposit after 48 months. This cash flow diagram represents leasing the vehicle over 60 months. This diagram is similar to the previous two examples, but only differ in the monthly payment and security deposit values. Now that we have drawn the monthly cash flow diagrams, we need a means to compare each option. Net present value, or NPV, is an analysis tool that will allow us to do just that. NPV provides a method to simplify the expected cash flows of each option into one number, the present value, which will ultimately show us which option is best. In order to calculate the NPV of all monthly payments and predicted residual or market value of each option, they must be discounted to the present. To do this, we must select a discount rate, which essentially represents the interest we could pay down on high-interest accruing debt or potential money-making investments. The lowest net present value, or net present cost in our case, will represent the best option. This slide shows a representative calculation for determining the NPV of financing the vehicle with a loan. This is a representative calculation for determining the NPV of leasing the vehicle. This is a representative calculation for determining the NPV of purchasing the vehicle with cash. Now that you have some understanding of how the NPV calculations were performed, let's take a look at the following table. This table shows the net present value of each vehicle acquisition option over the 36, 48, and 60-month time periods with varying discount rates. The values highlighted in yellow indicate the best option financially, simply because they represent the lowest net present cost for the given time period and discount rate. From this table, one can see that the cash option is a good option when assumed discount rates are 6% or lower. Financing the purchase of a vehicle is a good option for almost every scenario, the only exceptions being when the discount rates are lower than 6% for the 36, 48, and 60-month time periods, and when discount rates are 15% or higher for the 36-month time frame. Now let's summarize the reasons each option may be the best fit for you based on personal preferences. Leasing is a good option if you enjoy driving a new car every 2 to 4 years, like lower payments, like having a car that has the latest greatest technology, safety standards, and is always under warranty. You don't care about building equity in an asset. You drive under 15,000 miles a year, properly maintain and care for your car, and are willing to pay more in the long term, then this is the best option for you. Buying with a loan is a good option if your budget can handle the higher monthly payments. If you typically like to keep your vehicles for longer than 5 years, you're willing to risk the burden of higher maintenance costs, you like the idea of eventually being debt-free, you typically drive your vehicles more than 15,000 miles a year, then this is the best option for you. Finally, purchasing a vehicle with cash is a good option if you can afford a huge upfront expense, if you have a low credit score and don't qualify for the leasing and loan options, and you are willing to forgo any potential investment opportunities or pay down other outstanding debts, then buying with cash is the best option for you. Now let's summarize the reasons each option may be best fit for you based on the numbers. Leasing is the best option financially if you can't afford high monthly payments, you carry high interest credit cards, typically greater than 15%, with a significant amount of accrued debt that can be paid down with the monthly savings on your lease payments. The leasing option offers the lowest net present cost with the 36 and 48-month time periods coupled with higher discount rates. Buying a vehicle with a loan appears to be the best option overall financially. With the discount rate between 6 and 15% financing, the purchase of the vehicle prevails, as this option boasts the lowest net present cost over the 36, 48, and 60-month time periods. Buying a vehicle with cash is the best option for individuals with little to no accrual of high interest debt and can afford a huge lump sum payment. For discount rates 6% and lower, this option offers the lowest net present cost over the 36, 48, and 60-month time periods. Therefore, appears to be the best financial option under these circumstances. As with most financial decisions, there is no single right answer for everyone. It is impossible to simply say that one option is better than the other, because ultimately it depends on the specific preferences and circumstances for each individual situation. Ultimately, the answer for you is it depends. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.